Hey, this is Matt from Reloop. I'm here on the Reloop booth at the DJ shop in Southampton. I'm going to take a closer look at the Reloop ELITE 2-channel battle mixer for Serato DJ Pro. The Reloop ELITE is a 2-channel battle mixer with dual interface designed for use with Serato DJ Pro. Our source input gives you an option between A and B, which is the dual sound cards. This means that 2 DJs can run independent versions of Serato on their own computer at the same time, perfect for back-to-back sets, or when changing over DJs midway through a night, the other DJ can set up their computer without interrupting the first DJ, and more importantly, the flow of the music. The large dial in the center of the mixer is our browsing knob, which lets you scroll between your tracks and your folders in Serato. And we can load into deck 1 and deck 2 using the dedicated buttons either side. Below that we have our headphone cue. Now this is put on a crossfader, reminiscent of a lot of old school scratch mixers, and it's great for just dialing in your cue signal really quickly where you might not be wearing headphones the whole time that you're playing. Either side of the mixer section you'll see we have the Serato effects unit. This works slightly differently to other mixers, notably in that the level depth knob is replaced by a fader. This controls the wet and dry signal of your Serato effects. At the very top of the section we have an LCD readout which gives you quick access to the 3 Serato effects that you currently have loaded, as well as the wet dry level and the BPM readout of the currently playing track, and the beat signifier on the right hand side of the display. To activate the effects, you simply arm the effects slot that you want and turn the effects unit on with the button and control the wet and dry. The hold button next to it allows you to flash the effects in and out. Great for echo outs or reverb hits on the fly. The effects unit also allows you to save 2 separate banks of effects slots. As you can see on the shift layer we've got bank A and bank B, which are easily changeable on the shift layer. This lets you jump between 2 different sets of effects at the press of a button. Below the effects unit we have our loop section. This is controlled by a large endless encoder and a handy LED readout that lets you know what loop size is currently selected before you activate it. There is also a manual in-out button for doing manual loops. In the center of the mixer we have our tweak effects. These are 4 built-in hardware effects independent of the Serato effects unit and can be used with real vinyl. The mode button cycles between a bit crush, a flanger, a white noise and a filter. There's also a custom mode which gives you a blank knob to remap to any function that you need in Serato. Moving down to the performance pads, we have 2 grids of 8 pads in a 4x2 grid. These control all of the main Serato effects from hot cues, loop rolls, slicer, saved loops, pitch play and saved flips. All the pads are velocity sensitive and you can adjust the pad sensitivity in the mixer settings. 2 parameter buttons underneath the pads let you control various parameters depending on what loop mode is selected. There is an extra shift layer on the pad section called Transport, which gives you access to internal mode transport controls: play, cue, plus and minus nudge, key sync and master tempo on and off. We also have 2 user modes which give you a completely blank set of pads, allowing you to remap it to any Serato function that you might need. The main fader section is clear of any buttons or screws. All the faders are Mini Inner Fader Pro, Inner Fader being considered one of the best scratch faders available on the market today. These come pre-fitted as standard. The mixer settings allow you to adjust the cut-in of the crossfader left and right, as well as the top and bottom points of the up fader. And the front panel contains the contour control and reverse switches for each fader. On the left we have our mic section. This gives you control over the volume, an echo depth, as well as a high and low EQ for the mic input. In the center we have our line fader and crossfader curve control knobs and a reverse switch for each independent fader. On the right hand side we have volume controls for your Serato sampler, as well as the auxiliary input, and 2 headphone outputs with a selectable headphone split. On the back mixer we have 2 USB inputs for our 2 Serato sound cards. Underneath there is a USB hub allowing you to connect MIDI devices such as your RP8000 Mark II turntables or any other controllers that you might be using in your setup. A TRS input for the mic, as well as TRS outputs for the booth and XLR master outputs as well. There's an unbalanced master output on RCA and phono inline inputs for both channels. In the center we have our session in and out. This contains an auxiliary input with a dedicated control on the front panel and a flat level record output, which can be connected to either your set recorder or to another mixer's session input. Okay, so that was a closer look at the Reloop ELITE. This is available from the DJ Shop, in-store and online now. Okay, thanks for watching. Stay tuned to DJ Shop TV for more Reloop videos.